For the second portion of your test, questions 21 through 40 are all about collecting data. So at the end of this portion, it will be out of 19 to see what your percentage is. And again, it needs to be a 75% or above. And if it's below 75%, you'll want to study this section. Question 21, the answer was B. A triple beam balance can be used to measure the mass of objects, usually up to several hundreds of grams. Question 22, A. One end of the black line is at 4 centimeters and the other end of the black line is at 12 centimeters. So the length of the black line is 12 centimeters minus 4 centimeters equals 8 centimeters. Question 23, A. A micropipette is used to dispense small, known amounts of liquid when extreme precision is necessary. Question 24, C. One end of the black line is at 20 millimeters and the other end of the black line is at 59 millimeters. So the length of the black line is 39 millimeters through subtraction. Question 25, B. A balance is a weighing device that consists of a rigid beam horizontally suspended by a low friction support at its center, with identical weighing pans hung at either end, one of which holds an unknown weight, while the effective weight in the other is increased by known amounts until the beam is level and motionless. In a laboratory, balances are often used to measure mass. Electronic balances are also available and tend to be more accurate than standard ones. Question 26, C. If each of the 3 samples has a mass between 10 and 20 grams, then the total mass of the samples should be no less than 30 grams and no greater than 60. Since the total mass of basalt is not between 30 grams and 60 grams, it is an unreasonable computation. It is possible for errors to occur when making and recording measurements or calculations. For this reason, it's important to check measurements and calculations for reasonableness. If one piece of datum seems very different from all the other collected data, it may be due to an erroneous measurement or an erroneous calculation. Question 27, the answer is D. One end of the pin is at 5 millimeters and the other end is at 35 millimeters. So, through simple subtraction, it's 30 millimeters. Question 28, B. It is possible for errors to occur when making measurements and recording those measurements. For this reason, it's important to check measurements for reasonableness. If one piece of datum seems very different from all the other collected data, it may be due to, again, an erroneous measurement. Number 29, A. A spring scale is used to measure weight, which is a force expressed in newtons, using the equation force equals mass. A weight of 10 newtons for a 1 kilogram grapefruit makes more sense than a weight of 1,000 newtons for 100 kilograms of grapefruit. Question 30, B. A thermometer is an instrument for measuring temperature. Typical thermometers have graduated glass tube with a bulb containing a liquid such as mercury or alcohol, which expands and rises in the tube as the temperature increases. Question 31. The answer is A. An important part of designing a controlled experiment is selecting the correct equipment with which to perform the experiment. Since this experiment requires an atmospheric pressure of 29.92 inches, one should try to use a barometer that is incremented in hundredths or tenths of an inch. Thus, the barometer with increments of 0.10 would be the best barometer to use in this experiment. Question 32. A. A burette is a uniform bore glass tube with fine graduations and a stopcock at the bottom. Burettes are used especially in laboratory procedures for accurate fluid dispensing and measurement. Though graduated cylinders are also used to measure and dispense fluids, they are more difficult to control. Measuring cups are usually used to measure larger volumes, and test tubes are not usually used for measurement at all. Question 33. A. If the cheetah can travel 10 meters in 1 second, it would take 10 times as long to travel 100 meters, for example, 10 seconds. The device used to record this time would need to be accurate at least to the nearest second. Question 34, D. In a laboratory, mass is generally measured by a balance, and I discussed balance previously. Question 35, the answer is C. In a laboratory, balances are used again to measure mass. Burettes measure volume, while barometers measure atmospheric pressure, and an anemometer measures wind speed. Question 36, C. A thermometer is an instrument, again, for measuring temperature, and I won't go over that explanation again. Question 38, the answer, C. The abbreviation for millimeters is ml, and this eyedropper can hold about 10 milliliters of liquid. The water goes up to the 9 milliliter mark in the picture, so there are 9 millimeters of water in the eyedropper. Question 39, the answer is D. A graduated cylinder is a narrow container used to measure the volume of liquids. As its name suggests, the cylinder is graduated or marked with units of volume. Last question for collecting data is question 40. The answer, B. The abbreviation for millimeters again is ml. This graduated cylinder can hold about 20 millimeters of liquid. The water goes up to the 12 milliliter mark in the picture, so there are 12 milliliters of water in the graduated cylinder.